Yeah. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, so imagine paying child support for 18 years and then, your children never call you, never look for you. They really just erased you as a dad only simply because your baby mama backlashed you, made you, sound like you a deadbeat dad, even though you are paying this child support to this woman every month. She's turning around and making you look like you're the most horrible person in the world. And then your kids grow up not respecting you. They grow up talking down to you. They grow up saying, hey, I don't need him in my life. It's whatever. I'm not going to call him, not even for Father's Day, not even for your birthday. And we're seeing this happening all over the world. It's very common when, the man sits here and just spends money all the time, child support, alimony, everything. That's why they say marriage is right now at its all-time high, because men don't want to get married. Women want to get divorced because they find it beneficial for them to get divorced. They're getting, the child support, the monthly maintenance, and then the man is paying all this. And in the end, his children don't even care about him. They don't call him. They don't look for him. They basically don't want to be in his life simply because the mentality has been drilled into their heads all this time about their dad being this player or whatever the situation may be, or he's a deadbeat dad, or he could be a successful dad. He's just a heartless dad. They basically paint the husband or the ex-boyfriend or whatever that person was, the father of those children, that's who that person is now having to pay because the mentality of these children are all gone. They don't want nothing to do with their dad. So, the other day something came out on the internet where they were talking about, Uncle Luke. Uncle Luke, everybody knows Uncle Luke. He's they were talking about him where he's basically, paying all this child support, and then now he doesn't get to see his kids. So, or his kids don't look for him. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, so let's check out this clip real quick about Uncle Luke and what he had to say. All right? But before that, welcome to the Jose Show.
The Jose Show.
Check it.
The Jose Show.
Yeah. That was my little intro, y'all. So I hope you liked it. But yeah, we're checking out this video right now. This is Luke. He basically came out, talking about his kids. It says Uncle Luke says he dropped $2.7 million in child support for his 5 kids. Let's hear him out, guys.
If you were paying $2,500 a month, no, it ain't no if. You take the if out. That's $2.7 million in child support. Yes, that is what I paid. Now I got the number because I never added it up.
Damn.
And that's not including paying the attorney's fees. So it's well over $3 million.
That's crazy.
Because you got to pay the other side attorney's fees.
Yeah.
And
Gotta pay the
everybody
other
mad
side.
at me. I got one child call me up, tell me Happy Father's Day.
Out of the 5.
I tell them all, I'm crazy. I said, if you hate me so much, won't you change your last name?
They ain't never gonna do that.
Nobody wants to do that. $2.7 million. 5 kids. I paid $2,500 a month.
Wow.
And that was $540,000 for 18 years. One of my friend on here added up. It was well over. It was around $2 million, and everybody mad at me. They would not dare call me and say Happy Father's Day because the motherfuckers turned them against me. Hey, which is okay. That's fine. God has a way of teaching people. Look at that. Zeke, you like, oh my God.
That sucks.
Because the only thing I'm going to require is you carry yourself in a respectful way and you conduct yourself in a respectful way. And when you come over here in peace. You ain't finna have no liquor with me. You ain't finna smoke no weed in my house. We ain't finna have no motherfucking conversations. And if you feel like you grown, this ain't the place to be.
All right, y'all. There you have it. There you have it. That was Uncle Luke, y'all. Uncle Luke in the building, you know. And Uncle Luke is sorry, my bad. So yeah, Uncle Luke was out here, basically telling everybody, hey, my kids have rules when they come here to this house. They can't sit here and run that. And that's a lot of issues too, that, being the father or the man figure, there's some type of authority or some type of respect, especially when you want to be involved. Yeah, Uncle Luke may seem like, the crazy Uncle Luke with all the girls and all that stuff dancing, but he's still a father on the other side of this. You know what I'm saying? So he does require for his kids to come through and say, hey, you're going to respect my house. You're going to respect what you do here. And you're going to treat me like your father, like with respect. And then, a lot of times these kids grow up, the mom is telling them, hey, you know what? Your dad's, he's a piece of S. He's a piece of this. He ain't worth nothing. He's, he did this and that to me. And sometimes that has nothing to do with the situation. You just basically have some
emotional damage.
That's it, man. And if you have that emotional damage, that ain't got nothing to do with the kids and the relationship. I think you should definitely keep that separated. And right now we're not seeing a lot of that. And we're seeing guys, obviously you can't get away from that, especially like Luke. He's a guy with fame and money. So obviously they're going to catch him out there, basically, having to pay for child support. And he got stuck. And then now, he feels like, yeah, he spent all that money. He spent all that time, and his children don't value him. They don't care about him. They don't call him for Father's Day. They don't call him for his birthday. They don't even want to take off his last name because they know that if he does pass away, they're going to get something because of his last name. But I'm pretty sure that as time goes on, he's probably going to move all his assets, or he could possibly have, someone else that is going to acquire some of his, assets, his wealth and whatever he has left after he's gone. But it's sad to see that happening a lot right now, where your children just basically ghost you after they, reach a certain level in their lives. And influence has a lot to do with it. I think that influence of the mom, of, the other siblings have a lot to do with it. If you're all not on board and just see your parents for, the parents that they are, that they're there in your life, they're willing to support you. And every parent has their ways. They have rules. One of them may not want you to smoke in front of them in their house and whatever the case is. So when you go to their house, don't smoke. But you got to love your mom and dad because they still in your life and they want to be in your life, not because of any monetary reason or any benefit. I think we're seeing more of that today, that if my dad ain't got nothing to offer me, then I don't want nothing to do with him. How about you just, realize that you came to earth because of that man or woman, and there should be like a line of respect. Yeah, if you don't want to deal with them or you don't want nothing to do with them because of XYZ reason, those are all personal issues. But if a family member or a father or mother is there for you and they're willing to support you, love you, and care, there should be a line of respect for that. That's just plain and simple. If someone is pouring love, respect into you, it should be reciprocal. Even though you may not see eye to eye on all topics, but the one thing you guys got in common is that you guys care about each other in one shape or form. he cares about you because he's willing to, support you in financially and by, being there, calling you, saying, hey, this is what you should do, what you shouldn't do, look out for this, which in a lot of ways comes off as controlling. You're trying to control me because you're telling me what to do. No, I'm giving you advice, a heads up. Be careful. Something might happen. Don't smoke in my house because I've got a situation here, or, my spouse doesn't like it. Those are things you got to respect. And therefore they may just walk out on you. You know what? Mom told me this guy was a deadbeat, so I'm not going to mess with him anymore. But yeah, man, it's crazy that we're seeing that stuff right now. And I just wanted to get on here real quick and bring that up to light that, children should definitely love their parents more, especially if the parents want to be there for you. And for these baby mamas, stop being so toxic, bashing the dad all the time just because things didn't work out. That's the dad. And if he's sending you money your way, you should definitely sit here and have a line of respect, regardless of what happened to you in the past. Many women may do that, but a lot of women may not. They may not even, ever get it. That's why we have a lot of, these women that are, that word toxic, man. They're super toxic right now. The stuff ended. Keep it moving. The man's paying child support. Show that man some love and some respect because he's willing to do it. A lot of guys out there would rather run. They'd rather stay under the radar, not work. They'd rather become whatever they want to do so that they can avoid, not paying child support. But the ones who pay it willingly and want to be part of their kid's life, I don't think they deserve for the woman to sit here and, yeah, I get it, you're hurt, but don't sit here and bash the man with his children. Like the children's minds are developing all the way till they're 25. Their frontal lobe up here ain't fully developed until they're 25. That means their thought process is still developing. So even as they pass 18 years old, you've been drilling them for how long? They now feel a certain way about their dad. So I think that's a lot of shit that's happening right now with this, Me Too movement, where women definitely have more of an advantage when it comes to divorce. They get the child support. They get, a lot of times they get a lot of the assets. So it's not beneficial for a man to get married nowadays unless there's some prenups in place where there's some protectors. And even then, you're still losing out on, if you get divorced and you have to pay child support or you make more money than the woman, 9 times out of 10, that's what's happening. So there's not beneficial nowadays to get married, guys. It's just definitely not for any gain for us. Most of the gain is for the women. So, yep, that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up right there. But, yeah, go check out that video, man. I'm going to put that video in the description right here. And Uncle Luke, man, sorry for you, brother. Paid out them $3 million, and now your kids don't even want nothing to do with you. That's happening to a lot of guys out there. So pay attention, guys. If your kids don't want nothing to do with you, then cut them off. They have to learn. Eventually, they'll learn the hard way, and they'll come back. When you prolong the situation and when you support that type of behavior, when you allow it, it definitely gets worse. So the sooner you cut it off, they'll be gone. They'll be gone. They'll come back and say, "Hey, Dad, you're my bad. I want you in my life." And if they don't, then a man can have more kids. All right, man. Peace.
The Jose Show.
Check it.